Hello everyone, welcome back to the Little Shop of Hoarders and the PDX Picker channel. This is Chris. I am back from a short 5-day vacation, and so we are going to pull some orders that sold for me on eBay and Poshmark while I was away. We'll get to see the results of my time away. Did it affect my sales on my store at all? Also talk a little bit about a return that has just started on my shop and how to deal with that. So stick around after the intro song. We'll get to pulling those orders.
Wanna buy that Farrah Fawcett poster? Pez dispensers and a toaster. Don't know why. That kind of stuff you throw away. I'll sell on eBay.
All right, so spoiler alert, time away mode didn't have an effect on my store whatsoever. In fact, if anything, my sales have picked up while I was gone. So that's nice, although it does mean I have a lot of orders to pull. So we're gonna break this video up into two parts because I have 27 total items going out. One of them on Poshmark, 26 on eBay, so we will once again crown eBay as the major champion when it comes to the reselling platform. So let's go ahead and start pulling those orders. We'll start with the Poshmark order. It's for a pair of shoes. These are a pair of Saucony trail running shoes. I picked these up at my favorite thrift store. They're in box 18 right here. Took a bit of time to sell, but I paid $8 for these, $7.99, and they sold for me on Poshmark for $38. So here they are right here. Just a nice pair of Saucony Excursion TR15 trail running shoes. As always, in good condition. That's the main thing that you're looking for when you're buying shoes. Are they gonna be attractive to people who are buying pre-owned shoes? These don't look like they were worn much at all. Very nice insoles. So for those of you that are thinking about getting into the shoe reselling side of things, but are maybe a little bit nervous about pulling the trigger, as always, the very first thing you want to do is, of course, check to make sure that it's a good item to resell. Does it have a good sell-through rate? But then you're also going to really want to pay attention to the condition. No rips, no tears, preferably no stains. Insoles, ideally, they're going to be the original insoles, and they're going to be in very good condition, no cracking anywhere in the sole, that sort of thing. So those are things you're going to be on the lookout for when you are purchasing the shoes, when you're purchasing shoes to resell, because the purchase is really where you make the money when it comes to shoe selling. So by the time I release this video, it'll probably be sometime in early September. And we just got back from a 5-day vacation up at a lake near us in Washington State called Mayfield Lake. Very pretty place. The weird part, kind of a bummer part of it, was the weather was not that great. I think the highest temperature we hit the whole time we were there was maybe 69 degrees, which is not bad if you're just maybe hiking or that sort of thing, but we wanted to spend quite a bit of time in the lake. We did go out on the lake one day, rented a boat, a pontoon boat. Boy, that was expensive. We decided we were gonna go ahead and spend a little bit more money than we wanted to. But for 4 hours to rent a paddle boat, I keep saying paddle boat, to rent a pontoon boat, $625. $625. It was 7 of us there. It was my parents and the 5 in my family, my wife and 3 boys. We did do a little tiny bit of swimming out on the lake. It was very cold. The water was, I don't know, probably in the upper 60s, so quite chilly. The wind wasn't too bad, but getting out of the water was not fun at all. So we did a little bit of fishing while we were out there, but overall the day on the lake was fun, very expensive. Just wish it was warmer on that day. So that was the first day, the day after we got there. We arrived at around 3:30 on Tuesday, checking into our VRBO house, beautiful home. So I picked well when it came to that. Not always picking the best items, so I did, or not always picking the best houses or places to stay. I definitely I'm a bit of a frugal guy, so I like to save some money when I can. And that's no different when I'm picking a place to stay. This time I wasn't too frugal. It was over I think it was $330 a night. Split between my parents and I, so, about $175, so not too bad. But it was a really nice place. Here's the next item that sold. Pair of Field & Stream scent-free boots. hunting season right around the corner, so these are some nice hunting boots. 1,000 gram. Picked these up for probably, pretty sure it was $5. Might have been $10 though at my favorite thrift store. And these sold for $30 plus shipping. So these are also something you just very quickly look at the condition, the soles, any rips, tears, good to go when it comes to boots like this. It was a neat house. There's 3 levels. Nice view of the lake from the 2nd and 3rd levels. Down on the 1st level was a garage turned into like a bonus room area. So there was a ping pong table down there. You could actually play indoor cornhole down there, which was neat, since we kind of had to, given that the weather wasn't super great. There's a bedroom downstairs. Upstairs on the main floor was a nice kitchen, a couple of bedrooms. And then upstairs was, I guess maybe you would call it the master, the main primary bedroom. And the only thing that was a bit of a bummer was the seating area wasn't super great. Not a ton of room when you had 7 people in the house to sit in a couch with 3 seats and then 2 other chairs. But then there was also a really nice fire pit that we got to sit around for a couple of nights. Got absolutely destroyed by mosquitoes when I was out there, but hey, that's okay. Next item I sold is this Ninja smoothie maker. Got like the smoothie cup with the smoothie blade, all these things. I paid $2.50 for, actually I paid $5 for this and another set of Ninja blender stuff. Sold that one already. This one sold for $24.95 plus shipping. The other item that I sold, so it's a a Ninja base with the motor in it, and this thing, one of like 2 of those containers, a couple of lids. I sold that for like $35. And just today, the buyer opened a return, said item was not at all how it was described, and they want to get a replacement set sent to them. We'll see if they return the item. I'm a little bit afraid that I'm in the middle of somebody trying to scam me for free Ninja blender. It was interesting when they opened the return. They have the option to attach some photos of the item that they're returning. No photos were attached, so I don't know what the deal is with that. Are they going to attach some photos? Are they going to even ship an item back? Are they going to ship back something that was totally different than what they said it was? I don't know how they could say the item was totally different than what was pictured in the listing photos. It was the exact same item, so whatever, we'll see. Always fun to deal with the latest crazy, weird issues that eBay customers put us through. Yeah, I don't know, it's not fun when you deal with scams. It's not fun if you deal with customers that maybe aren't the brightest. I don't know. I really truly don't know how to explain or what to say about what's going on here. I just know that, let's say that the worst case scenario happened and the buyer is 100% correct. The only thing I could think of that was happening was that during shipment, the box opened, box got ripped, something, multiple boxes maybe got ripped, things were taken out of boxes through the shipping process, and somebody at the post office was just like, oh, this item fits in this box, we'll throw it in there, even though it was maybe something completely different from what was originally shipped in the box. I don't know. I have no idea if that's what happened, but if we're going to give the buyer the benefit of the doubt and say that they in fact did receive something that wasn't at all what I shipped to them, that is about the only scenario that I can think of. Either that or just mail theft out of their mailbox or out of the packages that were left at their front door. Who knows? But anyway, next item that's sold, pair of Levi's 511 jeans. These are relatively. These are new-ish. I mean, they're pre-owned, but they're not like they're vintage or anything like that. Those sold for $21.95 plus shipping. I picked those up at the Goodwill outlet, so paid at $2.11 for them. And they sold quite quickly. So if you do happen to go to the Goodwill outlet, you might be thinking to yourself, oh, Levi's in general, there's a billion of them listed, and there's probably 150,000 or more Levi's jeans listed. Maybe the sell-through rate isn't fantastic, maybe it's only 25 to 50%, but you're buying them so inexpensively. $2.11 into $21.95. These actually sold for me in less than a month. So if you're going to the Goodwill outlet and you're looking for something to source there, I would highly recommend Levi's jeans in good condition. Always check the condition. You don't want any rips, you don't want any major stains unless they're super vintage. But that's a great place to source Levi's for, because they're not going to sell for a ton of money, but they are going to sell. And that's maybe what's most important, is that they do sell, and for a really good return. We 10x'd our money on this one. This next item that sold, I think it's funny. I think it's a funny story. It's a cute story, and then it's a weird story. Speaking of the Goodwill outlet, I picked this item up last year at the Goodwill outlet because it was Halloweeny, and I know that these have some okay value. This item right here, I don't know what brand it is. It probably does say it down here, but anyway, this is supposed to be a combination of a light up. There's a light in there that's supposed to turn on. What is that? There's like a spider web in there or something. Anyway, but it also does make a sound. I don't have any batteries in here, but when you turn, there's a sound function on here. You turn it on, you clap, or just make some noise, and the jack-o'-lantern will start laughing at you. Had this listed for like 15 bucks for a long time, or maybe in like $13. Yeah. Then eventually, I think it just ended up in my sale, so I sold it for $6 plus shipping. You know, I probably spent probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 for it. If it lit up, it would be worth more for sure. But somebody bought it. Somebody messaged me and they specifically asked, "Hey, is this the pumpkin that when you clap or make a sound, it makes it laughs and goes ha 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 ha," like they put 6 ha 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 ha's in a row. They're very specific, but it's a great way to describe it. That's exactly the sound or the noise that it makes. So that was funny. So I replied, yes, that is indeed that is the exact pumpkin that you were talking about. And anyway, they turned around and bought it. Then they were like, please make sure to pack this well with styrofoam peanuts and bubble wrap, because the post office is, very inclined to have boxes be crushed and broken. And I'm just thinking to myself, as much as I would love to spend practically just as much on styrofoam peanuts and bubble wrap as you spent on this jack-o'-lantern, I'm not gonna do that. I'm going to package it in a decent box with maybe one small wrap of bubble wrap around it and some paper, and it'll be fine. And worst case scenario, if it does break, I'd rather just refund you the $6 then and not have to worry about spending another $3 in shipping supplies. Anyway, it's just, I guess it's neat. It must be something that they cherish, and maybe because of that I should probably go out of my way to be extra careful with the item. Let me know what you guys think. Comment down below. How would you handle a scenario like this where somebody kindly asks you to be extra diligent in your wrapping and protecting for an item that's being shipped? If it's an expensive item, personally, I am already just naturally going to be inclined to do that. When you have an item with such small value, they spent more in shipping costs than they did in the item. What would you do? Are you going to follow through on what their request is and be extra diligent with your packaging? Let me know in the comments down below. Next item that's sold, I bought this for $5 at a garage sale. It's a Tonex solid state transistor radio, kind of this yellowish beige color. I like buying these because they're cool. To me, I don't know, I was never old enough, I'm too young to have used any of these. I believe these came out probably in the 60s, maybe even the 50s, but I'm thinking it was the 60s. This Tonex brand, this very radio was actually sold by many different companies with different names. Tonex is just one of them. It actually comes with the original earbud. So this is, I don't actually know what they called them back in the day, but this is an earbud that, you know, it's just one, obviously. So you're just getting mono sound on this, no stereo sound. But tested it, it works great. If this was a different color, it might have been worth a little bit more, but sold it for $15 plus shipping rather quickly. No more than a month it took to sell that. So I should have maybe looked it up. This is the only Tonex that I know that has ever sold. According to Terapeak, 3 years back, there are no Tonex radios that, maybe one. Let's just be safe and say there's one that has sold. And on WorthPoint, I can't find any that have sold. So I don't know if there's a bunch of Tonex radios out there that could be sold, and now I'm tapping into a market. I just think I listed the price low enough that somebody was willing to spend the money on that. So I wouldn't recommend necessarily going out and buying another one. I just like them. They're fun. They're fun to test. It's just, they're neat to me. I could see myself owning these back when, if I was that old and I had them when I was younger, or I was around when they were popular, but they don't have a lot of value now, or a lot of use now, because we don't need them, obviously. Anyway, do you guys have any items like that? Things that you routinely buy? And when I say routinely, I think that's the 5th one of those things that I've purchased. So it's not like I'm buying dozens and dozens of them. But there are the things that you routinely buy. Maybe they don't even have a lot of value, but just because there's something about them that speaks to you specifically. Well, let me know. Comment down below what that item is for you. This next item that's sold, by the way, I went through I had kind of in my death pile a section of items of clothing and things that I purchased at the Goodwill outlet a while ago. Sometimes when I go to the Goodwill outlet, there's just not a lot of great things. And I don't want to leave empty-handed because I usually spend at least a couple of hours looking through everything. So I want to get some value back for the time that I spend there. So I sold, like, you know, these Levi's were in that pile. These were in that pile as well. They are these Reef flip-flops. These I've always thought were funny because some of these have a bottle opener in the sole like that. But, you know, I probably paid, you know, these are relatively light, so I bet you I paid no more than, let's say $1 for these. And there's not going to be very much value. And I took an offer. I had them listed for $15, took an offer for $11 plus shipping. But it was one of those where, again, like I said, I just wanted to get some return for my money. And so I got basically, you know, $6-7 for picking those up. Very easy to clean, very easy to ship. I'm okay with that. A lot of Goodwill outlet items that sold today. So this next one is another example of that. This one had a long tail. I listed this one quite some time ago. When I picked it up and comped it, I could tell, or I saw that there was a pretty good number of these sold. Not like hundreds, but, you know, several. Probably, let's say 10. But this one was a little bit unique. So here it is, the item right here. I hope this will come through. So this is the How to Read Character with a Descriptive Chart, Handbook of Physiology, Phrenology, and Physiognomy Illustrated. So real quick, phrenology, I don't know what a lot of those other words are. I guess physiology is like just study of the body and how it moves. But phrenology is... You remember seeing, or maybe you've seen those pictures where they'll have like the picture of your scalp, and there'll be dashed lines all over there, and there'll be numbers on your scalp, and like different parts of your head correspond to different things. That's phrenology. Basically, they think that, I don't know, like bumps in your head or different spots on your head control different parts of your body. And this is like a book to help study that. But maybe what is cool to some people is this book came out in 1884. Hopefully that is not too blurry. But this is a first edition. Let's see if we can find something in here. Here we go. So this is what I was talking about. This bad boy right here. This is like kind of crazy. So you won't be able to see that too well, but they're basically saying that This part of the brain is responsible for friendship. This part of the brain is responsible for cautiousness, firmness, calculation, language. And then we have the same thing just in different numbers down below here. Kind of crazy. Crazy cool. I don't mean to imply that it's crazy that people think that, because, who knows? Who am I to say what works and what doesn't? I think it's just crazy cool that they made something like this. And this book, like I said, sold. Took a long time to sell, but I ended up taking an offer for $42 plus shipping. And I have found tons, I keep using hyperbole. I have found at least 10 or more antique or antiquarian books that are at least 100 years old that I have sold on eBay. And I found almost all of them at the Goodwill outlet. So, for this, I bet you I paid $1.99, which is the hardbook cover price, and it sold for $42. So, it's amazing what kind of things show up at the Goodwill outlet. Not a quick sale, took about a year or more, but a good one for sure. I got to give you an update. Nobody will probably be watching this video, or watching the video this late in, but I gotta give you an update on the house next door. And it's frustrating, but kind of knew it was possible that would happen. So, first and foremost, they are getting closer to being done. I mean, they still have a ways to go. But there's the state of it now, but I don't know if you can see, there's just piles and piles of tree debris. That dark brown that's just this side of the house, that's a seasonal creek. And all of that tree cover, all that stuff, debris that's on the ground, was trees that are probably 40, 50, 60 years old or more that they just plowed out and took out. It's their land, and there's no ecological impacts for it, because since it's a seasonal creek, they don't need any approval or anything from the county for taking out that. But what's a bummer is we have absolutely no privacy now. Our yard stretches here back. You can see the fence line right there. We have a very odd shaped yard, but this lot was empty for 4 years after we moved here. And we just got kind of used to this extra privacy that had been created by the trees that were on that, along the stream there. And it's all gone. And it just happened I think yesterday. So it's a struggle for us. The main struggle for it is well, my battery died in the middle of my complaining and whining about the neighbor's house. So I went ahead and packed up the orders that I had pulled so far. Got these boxes here already packed, and my shipping table is clean again. Basically, just to finish my point that I was trying to make before my battery died, is there was a feel of remoteness, of solitude in my backyard. We just kind of felt like, even though we're in a neighborhood of homes, we did feel some privacy. And that has completely been taken away because of the trees being cut down. We knew it was going to happen. We didn't know it was going to happen quite so soon. Long story long, because this is a long story. What we did today is we went to a local nursery, and they were having a big sale on plants and trees specifically, and we bought 18 red cedars that are going to form I'm going like this out there. They're going to form a barrier, a natural hedge. They're I think they're about 6 feet tall, each of them. So we bought some of those, we bought some other trees to go around in the yard. It's going to be a lot of digging. It's going to happen in the upcoming few weeks. But it's not going to solve the problem. We're still going to be able to see the house over the hedge until the hedge grows up. Hopefully it grows about 2 to 3 feet a year. So 4 or 5 years down the line, we'll have some more privacy again.
I'm just bummed because we lost, like I said, that feeling of privacy that we had for 4 years in our backyard. So it is what it is. We knew it was going to happen eventually when we bought the house. We were hoping they would build the house further away from our edge of the property, closer to the road.
But we don't have any control over that because it's not our house. So I'm not complaining about what they're doing.
I am just bummed. That's all it is. So anyway, let's pull 6 or so more orders. That sold for me. The last PS3 game that I bought in my PS3 buy sold, and it was a good one. This is the Grand Theft Auto 4 PS3. So this has Grand Theft Auto 4 and the episodes The Lost and Damned and The Ballad of Gay Tony. That's what it looks like here. This has the map inside it. And that sold for $49.95 plus shipping. Paid about $8 for those. So that was the last one of those that went out. It was a very good buy. Bummed. I haven't found any good video game buys lately, although I did buy something really cool today that probably won't be a super great sale because I don't think I'll have any way of testing it. I bought an old RCA Select 2. Is that what it's called? No, it's an RCA Studio 2 gaming system. I want to say from maybe 1977. It came out just before. I think there was a different RCA system that came out or had already come out. I did a little bit of research on this. I'd actually never heard of it. And then maybe 10 months after that came out, the Atari 2600 came out. The Atari 2600 kind of blew away the graphics and gameplay in terms of this RCA Studio 2. This next item that's sold real quick, a pair of Chaco sandals. I think I talked about picking these up, paid $5 for these, and these sold. I took an offer for $25 plus shipping, a little bit lower than I had hoped, but just we're getting into the end of sandal season, and I didn't want to hold on to these for 6-8 months until they were going to sell again, so sold those for $25 plus shipping. But yeah, the Studio 2, RCA Studio 2 was, it had like, instead of joysticks or anything like that, it had on the console itself, and I should go inside and actually show it to you, it had like a keyboard of sorts, but not like a full, QWERTY keyboard with all of the letters and everything. It was just some numbers and stuff. And so that rendered the gameplay a little bit limited. I think there were 5 games that were built into the system and then 10 more that were made. So I bought the system plus 3 games for $60, untested. Next item that sold. This is a Don Knotts autographed photo with some information about him on the Andy Griffith Show. This is his character on the Andy Griffith, Barney Fife. And that's his autograph right there. And then what's cool is you get a picture of him autographing. I don't think he's autographing necessarily this exact one, but it could be. It could be this very exact photo right here. 1,023 of 14,750. So I picked that up. How much did I pay for that? I picked that up for, I picked it up at on an online auction with actually a Don Knotts thermometer. Sold the thermometer for $60, and this item I sold for $75. Had it listed for $100. It's got a little bit of a condition issue. I think the photo was maybe, or the whole thing was kind of stored in a area that was a little too warm. But I picked that up for $30 and sold it for $75. So grand total, I think I paid about $45, so maybe about $15 for the thermometer. So $45 into $135, so not too bad. Let me go get the RCA gaming system. I'll be right back. All right, so here is the RCA Studio 2, the home TV programmer. These are the keypads that I was talking about. So these take the place or act as joysticks, if you will. Two-sided here. This is where the games go in. Like there are 5 that are built in, but you can, you could have bought
additional games. I don't know if this box was what the games came in, but it fits them perfectly. So it's, I don't know, kind of neat if this was the original box they came in. But we've got TV Arcade 3, Tennis Squash for use with the RCA Studio 2. We've got baseball, and then blackjack. And these are what the cartridges look like. Just looks like this with kind of the board down there. They go stick them in here like this. I don't know which way they go. I'm not gonna try too hard. Probably this way because it fits in nice and easily. On the back here it says, insert cartridge this side toward player, press clear on keyboard A, press 1 for one player game. So all sorts of little, basically the whole instructions for the game right there. And they also come with a little instruction manual right here. So pretty cool. So this is the only connector that it came with, but I know there's more to it than this. It's just this plug-in type connector. These have a connector that is similar in some ways to the old Atari 2600. It's got an adapter that you plug into the antenna section on your old TV. And then there's actually, so that plugs into the adapter. And then there's a power cord, a DC power adapter, that plugs into that adapter. I don't have either of those things. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to track them down. But if anybody happens to know anything about them, actually just comment below and let me know where I maybe can go to find them. I did a brief search. I haven't spent a whole lot of time researching this. I would love to, in many ways I'd actually probably love to keep it for myself, but I'd love to at least test it out and try it. I'm only going to keep it if I can get it to work, which I probably won't. But I bought it for $60, which is on the very high end. I went to like a flea market kind of thing downtown. It wasn't downtown in my hometown. It wasn't exactly, you're paying retail price, essentially. I paid $60 for that. They were originally asking $70, so I got a little bit of a deal. But if this is in as-is condition right now, untested, well, we're back on the second day because my battery ran out again, and I just decided to give up and go to the next day. We're in the middle of talking about the RCA Studio 2. I think I was talking about the value of it. I think in the condition it is right now with the 3 games, I can hopefully get $100 for it. So not a huge profit by any stretch of the imagination, putting 60 into 100, but I'm hoping I can get it working. So again, if any of you know where I can find the power adapter and the adapter for the TV, it doesn't have to be original, but any sort of compatible adapters, please comment below so that I can hopefully try and track them down. And then I have to find a TV that I'll be able to hook these up to, although no, I don't have any TVs. So there's another issue as well. But it's a quest that I am excited and willing to embark on, assuming I can find those adapters. So I'll show this to you. This is again part of that issue with the privacy or lack thereof now that we have. This probably would have been the same even without all the trees. I don't know, but they're so loud. Of course, right now they're being quiet as can be. Just the hammering. The talking's fine. There's no music. They're not doing anything that they're not supposed to. They're just doing their jobs. That's really loud. And I was kind of thinking that those trees would provide some sort of a sound buffer, but they're all gone. Anyway, all right, enough of me complaining about something that I have no control over. I was also realizing that I didn't tell you about the rest of my trip to last week. So I'd mentioned that the first day we went on the lake. Second day we decided to also take advantage of the semi-okay weather. We went to a local park that was right on the lake. They had disc golf there, so we got to play some disc golf. We also went on some geocaching, or tried to do some geocaching, found 2 different
geocaches in the area. I also found some stinging nettles, so that was not very fun. Stinging nettles, if any of you are unfamiliar with them, it's a plant that has these little spiky things on them, and when your skin comes into contact with them, they hurt and they itch a little bit. That actually wasn't as bad as the probably 22 mosquito bites that I got that night when we were out around the fire pit trying to barely successfully have a fire, which we came across this firewood that must have been, I don't know, it was dry, it was nice firewood, but it was really hard to get it to burn. Not something that I'm used to. We normally deal with pine around up in these parts, which burns really well and fast and hot and big flames. This was just slow burning and flames were about that big. I don't know what it was, some sort of hardwood. So that was a bit of a bust on that front, on top of the 10,000 mosquito bites that I got. Friday, it poured rain all day. It was gross, but we did the best that we could. We actually, two of my sons went fishing, didn't catch anything, but they had some fun. And then Jonas and I, we went and played some more disc golf in the rain, which it's not super easy to throw discs in the rain because everything is slippery, but we survived. So all in all, it was a fun trip, and I'm glad we did it. I wish it was a little bit longer. I always prefer to have longer vacations, right? Don't we all? But it was still a really good time. So we're gonna pull 3 more orders and then put a wrap on this video. And even in the days since I last recorded this, sales are actually really picking up again. Mondays are not usually big sales days for me, but today has been a pretty darn good one. Had some really good sales on there that we'll talk about in a future video. Let's go ahead and pull these next couple of orders. So I sold a couple more of my wife's excess hair color to the same buyer. A couple of these red colors here. These are being shipped or sold for $11.90 free shipping. So again, we have the Joico brand Vero K-Pack color, 5RR red garnet, and 6RR ruby red. $23.80 free shipping on those. And I sold another pair of sandals. Almost the end of August, still selling sandals, so that is very good. I took a bit of a risk on these because I hadn't sold these before, but I saw that the sell-through rate on them was pretty good. I have to set the camera down. These are a pair of Keen sandals that I hadn't seen before. And I think they might be new this summer, this season. It's got like a paracord. That's basically what all this is a bunch of different colors of paracord. And this particular one, where they're all different colors like that one, there are not too many of them listed. Maybe I had the only one, I can't remember. But I bought these for $14.99 at my favorite thrift store, and they sold for $49.95 plus shipping in maybe no more than a month for sure. So I tell you, this has been the summer of sandals for me. I bet you I've made, it's probably not as much as I think. Maybe I've only had $500 or $600 worth of sandals sales, but I've probably only put about $75 into it. So it's a pretty darn good return, I think. And let's do 2 more items. So this next item I bought at my favorite thrift store, and it was a pretty good pickup. It's a Reformation Study Bible. So you've heard me say many times, or for those of you that are new to my channel, you will hear me say many times that a lot of study Bibles can be very good pickups, and this was another great example of that. Spent $3.99 on it, and it sold for $36.95. This one is made, it has a leather cover. Like I said, it's the Reformation Study Bible by Legionnaire Ministries. Pretty good condition. They're on these, I think I mentioned before, when you're buying study Bibles, you certainly want to look on the outside, the condition of that. You also want to kind of leaf through here, and you're looking for writing, underlining,
highlighting, things of that nature. So this is, we just came across one, but this one did have some highlighting in it, which of course I disclosed, but $3.99 into $36.95 on that one. And then the last item of today's video is a pair of jeans that I picked up. And these are some Ariat jeans. I've had okay success with Ariat jeans. I've had more success with some of the other clothing items. These are a pair of M5 Rebars men's jeans that sold for $29.95. These were a little bit on the lower side of the market. Normally right here it's going to say, and you can kind of see the remnants, it's going to say M5 and then whatever, I think it'll say straight leg, or it'll have the description of the jean right there. There's where it would say straight leg. But these have been worn enough or washed enough that isn't visible there. So I still sold them for $29.95. They are in really good condition otherwise, no rips or stains, and I can't remember how much I picked these up for, so let's take a look real quick. So I picked those up for $7.99, probably at my favorite thrift store if it was that price. So $8 into $30 in just about a month. So that's gonna do it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel so that you can get more content like this in the future. Good luck with all of your reselling ventures out there. We'll catch you on the next video. Take care out there, and bye-bye.